Hello, this is Heath Dweft, and I listen to Raconteurs News.
And good evening, welcome to Raconteurs Preview. Just had to turn my laptop there that was repeating us back to me at a different rate. So anyway, listen, welcome to Raconteurs News Preview. It's our preview show. We usually do this on a Saturday or a Sunday sometime over the weekend, so that you've got a little bit of an idea of what's coming up. It's a new thing that we've started doing, so a big hello to you if you're watching on Facebook Live, or if you're listening to us on raconteursnews.com, or even on Spreaker. I don't expect many people to hear this firsthand, but it's nevertheless, it's always nice to get the preview going. And as usual on these previews, and becoming more and more prevalent on the live shows as well, I'm joined by Andy Young. Andy, how you doing, mate?
Hi, mate. I'm good, thanks. Yeah, it's got an interesting week lined up, haven't we?
Yeah, we have. Yeah, to say the least, an interesting week. We've got Kenny Humphreys joining us again on Monday. He's the guy that we had on before. He used to be part of Hunters for Justice on the Facebook group that go out trapping people. Not trapping, sorry. Capturing people who are looking to have relations with children, sexual relations with children usually. And he's one of the hunters that's they've popped up online, and there's thousands of them. Kenny used to be with Hunting for Justice. He's gone solo since then. So we're going to get his story on why he went solo, and who he's working with now, and what sort of results and stuff that they're doing at the moment, and any resources that they might that they might need, any information, that sort of thing. So Kenny's going to be joining us on Monday from 7 o'clock. What do you think about the pedo hunter thing, Andy?
Well, it's always a difficult one, isn't it? I mean, I understand. I think why people are doing it, what would appear to be the obvious reason for people doing it, and that's in that the police really aren't getting stuck into this. I've maybe got one or two questions about doing it on Facebook Live. I would always question about what you're going to do by streaming something like that live, whether you're going to prejudice any possible court case. I've talked to one or two guys who are ex-police on that subject, and they don't seem very impressed with the idea. They say you've got no chance of getting a case in court, but I remember Kenny saying last time there have been prosecutions as a result of what he's done. So I'm kind of open-minded on that, and I'm all for people, empowering themselves, doing something to make a positive change. And if that's what they're doing, then I think we should support it.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, there are instances where things are unprofessional. I watched one last night. I'll not name the group that it was because I've got a shit memory and can't remember. But I was watching one last night, and they made a huge mistake. And the guy was on the phone to somebody, and they got him live on Facebook Live to he read out his home address. Ooh. Which wasn't really a very wise thing to do, and perhaps they should have been a little bit more professional and pulled him up on that before he started doing that. Because I know I certainly would. If someone started giving the private address out on one of our calls, on one of our shows, then I'd just stop them at first and say, listen, you really need to not do this, or you need to at least think about what you're doing and why you're doing it. So I thought that were a little bit unprofessional last night, and I think that video had to be pulled in the end because they'd made the mistakes. People were commenting and saying you've just read his address out. His address has just been revealed. He's got a wife and 3 kids as well. So there's their safety that needs to be taken into account as well. So as long as it's done well, and it's done professionally, and we're not getting somebody sat there just calling, because I have seen them as well where they just say, yeah, you're a fucking nonce, you're a paedophile, you're this, you're, and it must be intimidating for the bloke whose his life's ended, so there's no need to make it any worse. That's his life over, isn't it? He's just been on Facebook pulling kids as a nonce, so his life's done. So why they have to sit there and abuse him, I really don't know. But yes, I like I say, I watched one last night. As long as they're done well, and all things are taken into consideration, and they do for every sting, they ought to do have a plan in place. Or what do they call it when you go and you do a fucking hell? Anyway, they should have things in place. They should have procedures in place. They should have a plan in place as to what they're going to do when they get hold of this guy. Because the one last night, I know Shitty Leeds had just put in the chat room that he'd knock the fucker out, and that's probably the reason why he's not doing it then, because he wouldn't be able to restrain himself. And I can completely understand that as a father myself.
Yeah, completely
understand that sentiment, and I think I'd probably find it difficult myself to not stand there and say, what the fucking hell are you doing? I'm not a violent person, but I could be really nasty with my tongue.
Yeah.
So I could do that, but for me, if you're going to do it, it wants to be professional. It needs to be. It needs to be planned. Everything needs to be known about the person that they're stinging before they sting them. Because if you're stinging someone vulnerable, I mean, that in itself is another grey area. I mean, these vulnerable people, generally tend to hide behind that, and they don't know any better, and things like that. So, again, it's a really difficult area, but it'll be interesting to get into it with Kenny tomorrow.
I mean, really, is it a legal, and I would say also a moral minefield? You're putting yourself in by doing that. For me personally, I can't watch them. I've seen a few of the videos, and now I just can't watch it because I found some of them to be done so badly. It just makes the people who are holding the camera look like a bunch of fucking bullies, giving somebody an hard time. Yeah, I can see why they're doing that, but it doesn't make them look good. The fact, like you say, there you go, you've got somebody on camera, you've got them banged to rights supposedly, and then you're calling them all the names under the sun. It kind of makes you look a bit of a sad case, really, I think.
Yeah. It doesn't make you professional at all, does it? It's not going to give you any credibility, and it's not going to make the police. It's not going to make the police respect them anymore. But the police anyway. But there's also the I don't know if you know anything about this, but there was a gang in a group in the Liverpool area, I think, or around about there, Liverpool, Preston, somewhere in the northwest.
Right.
And one of them had a conviction for sexual offences against children.
But was still involved in this pedo hunting gang.
He was involved in it, yeah.
Yeah, you see, you have people like that involved in an operation like that. It kind of brings the whole thing into question, doesn't it?
Well, you see that. The good thing about it was, as soon as the group found out, that was it. He was gone. He was done from the group. And I saw him. I think there was one where they were. There was a video where one of the females was confronted this other guy in their own house, and she was talking about how she'd let him have run of her house, and she got kids, and she didn't know this, and this. Anyway, I think we'll probably get into that. He'll probably know more about that tomorrow than I know at the moment, because all I know is that I did spot something that there'd been one of the hunter groups had a predator in actually amongst their ranks, and I think that also then got the idea. I think that also put into place that people who are in these groups should have CRB checks.
Yeah, that's probably a fair comment. Yeah, I never even thought about it like that. I don't know how that applies to private individuals doing things off their own back. I really don't know the situation with that. But yeah, these are all questions that are well worth asking. So have you managed to catch up on your sleep after your 5 a.m. rude awakening yesterday?
Oh, yeah. If anybody don't know, didn't see the Facebook post yesterday morning about 5 o'clock. We live in a quiet. It's just quiet. It's crowded, but it's quiet street. And about 5 o'clock in the morning, we're woken up by sirens, and then this almighty crash. And we looked outside, and there's a car that's ploughed into one of them boxes where the telephone exchanges, where you usually see like a BT man with his little tent and his little cage around him and his thing, and he's doing his stuff. It crashed into one of them things. Now it completely knocked over a post that was there, but that just didn't even move. So what's happened is the police. There's been a report of a robbery at a co-op, and the police have been in pursuit of this car in connection with this robbery, and they've decided they must. I don't know whether they were from around here, but they've come through here through this little, because where I live it's a little rat run.
Yeah.
The only way you go is if you know about it. So they've come down there, and then the police have rammed him. There were two or three police cars smashed up, crashed into the back of each other, and there were cop cars. There were just coppers everywhere. It was snided with him. So I decided to sit and have a joint on my front. Looking out of the window and watching them all night for the hour, like while they were hour and a half while they were clearing it up, but nobody could get. We live in a cul-de-sac, see, nobody could get past or go to work. Until they cleared it all the way.
But in the interest of clarity, if your mother's listening, it was only a metaphorical joint, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. Yes, it was a metaphorical joint. Yeah. And you don't want to get done off my mum, I'll tell you.
Yeah, so that's Monday covered. Tuesday, we've got a guy. I don't believe we've actually done an interview with him on his own. I think we've had him on with somebody else once before, but it's an old friend, Steve Mearer. Now, I've been waiting to get Steve on because Steve was the guy who flew out to Peru. I think it was back end of last year with the Irish investigator. I think his name was Barry Fitzgerald, and they were looking at that three-fingered Nazca mummy, and that they were invited by the French team that were looking at it to film the event and all that sort of thing. Steve said, he'll let us know as soon as we've got some information to give out. I have seen some information given out by Brian Forster, apparently saying that there is some sort of anomalous DNA evidence on these, if it's the same mummies. So I'd be interested to find out about that from Steve. But the reason I've actually invited him on is because it seems like it's either his own project or he's part of a project for a new social media platform. We're all seeing the kind of demise of Facebook and YouTube through the ridiculous censorship. It's becoming a tool of the deep state, if you like, or a way of suppressing the alternative media. So I'm always interested to see what else is coming online. We have actually managed to get signed up for a Steemit and a BitTube account, so all our stuff will be going up on there once we get that sorted out. And Steve's platform is going to be called On Stellar, And if you want to have a look at what's coming up on that, it's not actually being officially launched, I don't think, yet, but you can reserve your user account, you know, whatever name you want at the minute, and it's about to launch very soon. But it appears that it's quite unusual in that it's a media platform that's aimed at what you might call paranormal subjects. So I believe ghosts, Bigfoot, any kind of paranormal experience, and I suppose that's got to include ufology. So I think many of our listeners might give that a complete bypass if it's not their area of interest, but I know quite a few who listen to us are interested in that sort of subject area. So we'll get Steve on, find out what it's all about, find out who's behind it, and it might be useful to anyone who's listening who wants to get in on that.
The Peru stuff will be interesting if he's going to expand on that any more than what we already know. Don't know if that's the case.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose really I shouldn't have mentioned that till I spoke to Steve beforehand, but I mean, Steve's an open guy. You know, if it's a load of bollocks, he'll say it's a load of bollocks, mate, sorry. There's no pretense with Steve. He's very much like me and you. He calls a spade, and it's as simple as that.
Oh, brilliant. Well, look forward to that, actually. Steve Meara, I don't think I've ever spoken to him before. I think you have, haven't you? You've had him on with your ex.
I had him on a while ago. Yeah. He's a good guy, Steve. Seem to run into him at most conferences that I go to. I mean, you've met him a couple of times, but I know your memory's complete crap, so you won't remember him.
No. Right. So with that this week covered. Listen, it's Mother's Day tomorrow.
Is it?
Yes, it's Mother's Day tomorrow. So everybody who's listening, please don't forget it's Mother's Day. Now, it's strange, isn't it, that it comes up in the same week as International Women's Day, which was Wednesday this week. But the interesting thing that I noted was one of the breakfast television things, and I saw it on I've scrolled past it on Twitter. I think GMB or GMTV or whatever they fucking call it, the ITV one anyway. That one that's got Piers fucking Morgan on it. For God's sake. And the question was, and this is, bear in mind, this is the day after International Women's Day.
Yeah.
Should Mother's Day be banned? That was the question. That was the poll. Should Mother's Day be banned? And then as soon as I saw that, it just clicked like that. I clicked like that. They have International Women's Day. This is the generation where everyone gets a prize, and they don't want women who are either barren and can't have kids, or don't have kids, or choose not to have kids to feel left out, which is why they're going to they'll probably end up banning Mother's Day, or this is at least the suggestion, and collating it all in International Women's Day, which is ridiculous. And I can't see it going down very well with the traditional, crowd as well, who want to celebrate Mother's Day. And there'll probably end up being 2 different days, and you'll have to buy a card for each day. 2 cards in a week for your mother, simply because she has a vagina. And like I said, I made a post on Facebook as well where I said, the problem with International Women's Day is it's divisive. Yeah. Now, it's divisive. And what it does is it creates victims. So when women come together and collectively become a victim, because that obviously why they're celebrating their things and the oppression they've had from males and all that, and men then have there's no International Men's Day, but that's not true. There is an International Men's Day, but the perception is there isn't, because it's not blasted all over the media. So what you do is you end up with 2 sets of victims who are, so the men are saying, well, why have the women got a day? And the women are saying, well, we've got our day because we've been oppressed by men for all these years. And it all adds to the battle of the sexes, dividing people up, the sexes up. It's to break down families so that people look at this sexual harassment. Like, all right, let's go, shall we? Look at this Brit Awards, all this sort of stuff. These award ceremonies that they have, right? These award ceremonies, they have these award ceremonies, Oscars and all that. So what you've got is you've got overpaid fucking sponsors who are paid to fucking either sing crap and have it auto-tuned, or they're paid to pretend to be somebody else, you know, an actor or be, you know, as in an actor or something, but a director. And you get all these fucking sponsors. They're all paid over the top money. Yeah. So what do? They say, right, let's all have a party and fucking suck each other's dicks about how good we are and give each other's awards, right? So we'll give each other awards. This will be a glamorous thing. It'll not cost me a fucking penny, even though I earn millions and millions of pounds. It'll not cost me a penny, and I'm going to get lavished with gifts from these people. All these people are going to lavish me with gifts, and then we're all going to sit there and we're all going to say, these logos, me too, me too. Well, if I tell you what, if I were an actress that had been molested by Harvey Weinstein and I'd fucking brought it up, and then I'd said, and then other people had come forward and said, if I was an actress, I'd have said, why did none of you fucking report it? Because then it might not have happened to me. But instead of that, it's all fucking, you know, me too, I'm a victim. Oh, by the way, right, they're doing all this while dressed up in fucking like $10,000 fucking dresses and suits and stuff, right? And then the fucking slaves all sit at home and watch him on telly, rooting for one of them to win something. This cunt's fucking, he's a millionaire. He's a fucking millionaire. He's got everything that you ever fucking wanted, ever, right? He's probably a fucking deviant and all, and he's getting all sorts of fucking sexual fucking gratification from different fucking sources and abusing people. But it's all right. You slaves, you've got pots of pissing. And in fact, so I'll tell you what, fucking half of fucking chat people watching it are on their emergency electric. Because they're that fucking skint, and they're spending that fucking last £5 of electric that they can get on their emergency on watching a bunch of fucking millionaires fucking flounce about, talk shit about each other. You know, oh, I'd love to work with him. Oh, it was great. What a great guy. And you know that they're talking out of their fucking arses, and yet everyone's sat at home with a fucking bag of Doritos and the fucking bottle of Diet Coke, the 2-litre bottle of Diet Coke that's fucking poisoning the fucking brains, and they don't realise it. And these cunts are taking piss. So what? So, you know, this is what's fucking going on. Everything's upside down.
Yeah.
Why don't you pay to vote for who you want to win on this fucking thing? Well, I don't care who fucking wins. It's a fucking karaoke competition. I don't give a fuck. I couldn't give a fuck if the place all fucking blew up. Fucking sport. I've been talking about sport. You know what I've been going on about sport.
Yeah.
The fucking sport and society are especially football, is reflective of society. You've got fucking millions and millions and millions of fucking pounds in it, and the ones that get fucking screwed for it all are the ones that go and watch it. You know how much it were to go and watch that shit today that I've been to watch? I've got a season ticket, so it cost me about £7.50 when it's all said and done. But yeah. You know, if I went to pay on gate, it would cost £40, £40 to sit and watch that utter fucking drivel. And yet in the thousands, they're still fucking going on doing it. They're still doing it in the thousands. And we're propping up these cunts at top who are not fucking putting out down. There's none of this money that goes from like Premier League, all that money that's in Premier League, none of it goes down to other clubs. It's all bollocks. They fucking kick rate. Oh, let's kick racism out of football. No, let's not, because you don't want racism kicked out of football, because then you'd be out of a fucking job, and you'd not be collecting money, and you'd not be getting sponsorship, and you'd not be going to all these fucking dinners where you're having these fucking kick racism out dinner. Oh, it's a fucking 10,000. All that money's not going on anything. Kick racism, it's not going. They don't want it out. Why do they want it out? It's like the cure for cancer. They don't want it. Women, they don't want equality. They don't. Feminists, they don't want equality because then they've lost the cause.
Yeah, but everything you've just been talking about, Jason, isn't that metaphor for modern life? Because what you were just saying about celebrities and fucking sucking each other's dicks, and we're all there's millions of people watching it with a bottle of Diet Coke, and It's exactly the same for me. We don't watch telly at home, but when we go somewhere and the telly's on, most of the adverts now are fucking charities. And most of the charity adverts are fronted by celebrities. Like you say, celebrities who've got more money than me and you will ever dream of. They want for nothing, and they're telling us to send £1 a week. Fuck off.
Yeah. So, shall I tell you what? I'll tell you what. I'll send you £1 a fucking week if you donate the amount that will leave the same amount of money that I've got after I've donated my £1. If you donate that amount of money that you've got, and then after you've donated as much as you've got, so that you've then got the same amount as I've got after I've donated that £1, I'll fucking do it then. but they won't. It's all because they're even paid for it to go on. Yeah. This is what you're fucking running. You got these fucking. Listen, I know it sounds like I'm picking on women, but I really aren't. It's just that they're the most. It's the most. The most. No, I don't want to say popular. Not popular, but it gets the most coverage. The cancer charity, this pink racing round in pink in mud and all that sort of shit. And you say to people, they're collecting money and they think it's all great and they're all together and it's all sisterhood, but it's fucking sisterhood. You're raising £250,000 for the fucking CEO's fucking salary for a start, and fucking cancer research has 60 people on over £100,000. So that's £6.25 million you've got to start. You've got to find. That's just for wages. Then you've got all infrastructure. You've got the websites. You've got the fucking cost of the advertising. You've got all that shit on top. Why don't they just get a fucking? If they just said, you got cancer, have a joint, or get some cannabis oil.
Yeah.
It's gone. Everything. All that's gone. See, where people blame pharmaceutical industry, whereas it is a fucking huge thing. It is a huge thing to blame. But these charities, which usually are linked to these pharmaceutical companies anyway.
Yeah.
That it's just another revenue stream. People buy it, and we've just got to stop.
Yeah. Well, Shitty Leeds is saying, "Fuck me, Andy. Calm him down. He's worried about you having another heart attack, mate."
No, I think I'm done with them for now.
We've got Jason Powers joined us in the chat room as well, so you're not there on your own, Leeds. Welcome, Jason. I shall be having a chat to that Jason very shortly. Looking forward to catching up with him. It's always good to chat to him.
Brilliant. Yes. Oh, what else? There were another thing as well. Somewhat were fucking winding me right up.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't fucking remember what it were. My missus got both barrels anyway, so I'll let her tell you if I remember what it were.
No worries. I'm sure you'll remember by Monday. Yeah.
I probably will. Well, I think we're just about done for this, aren't we? We've done been on half an hour.
Yeah, it's about half an hour. Yeah. Shall we play out with a tune or?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's play out with a tune. So we've got. Just remember, we got Kenny Humphreys. I keep, every time I say his name, I keep having to stop myself from saying John Humphreys.
Thank you for that.
Kenny Humphreys is on Monday, Pedo Hunter Extraordinaire, and that'll just be me, I think. Andy will be producing anyway, so if we need him or if he wants to pop in for a question or anything, he will be there. But Andy will be joining me on Tuesday because this really is his gig. So I should I'll probably just do my rant at about 25 to 9 and leave the rest of the show to you and Steve.
I'm sure you'll have something poignant to chip in. So, yeah, enjoy the rest of your weekend, folks. We'll be back Monday and Tuesday, 7 o'clock as usual. 7 o'clock UK time, that is, because we know it kind of freaks me out. We've got people listening all over this. Can I call it a globe?
Call it what you want, mate.
Yeah. We've got people listening all over the world, and it never ceases to amaze me. Thanks everybody for all your continued support. I will say we've got a little bit of an issue with the email that we're going to send out to site members, in that people are trying to confirm their email and it's not fully confirming it yet. But we've got some people who are waiting to be confirmed. I'm going to try and suss that out, as well as a few other jobs I've got to do tomorrow. So hopefully those who signed up and are waiting for a confirmation, I'm going to test it with John Hall, who's been very helpful to us and supportive of what we're doing. So thanks for that, John. And hopefully you'll be able to get your emails on Monday tea time, about an hour and a half before the show. So,
and don't forget to mention Chitty Leeds as well.
Yep, Chitty Leeds. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. I just read what he's posted. He said he once went out with a bird from Sheffield with 3 legs. Are you sure that wasn't a bloke, Chitty Leeds?
Brilliant. We'll go on, Andy. You finish off and play us out.
I'll just say, what better song to finish with than Boy from Sheffield? We'll see you Monday, folks. Have a good weekend. Ta-da.
I'm off to the hole in the road. I'm walking off school and I'm off to the city, watching telly all night and I'm not looking pretty. See, I got this job downtown, selling knocked off ladies' watches for £1. For a really dodgy man that I met in a dodgy cafe. You know, he said to me, the girl who sold these yesterday wasn't selling very carefully. Police came along and took her and all my watches away. So if you see some coppers, you grab my stuff and leg it, boy, right away. I'll be in the cafe. I'm just a boy from Sheffield, making his way through life. I'm just a boy from Sheffield, making his way. I'm just a boy from Sheffield, making his way through life. I'm just a boy from Sheffield, making his way. So it's been a few hours and I haven't sold enough for my bus fare home. Street selling's pretty tough, so I turn on the charm for the lunchtime rush, with a smile and a wiggle on my schoolboy touch. So the charm is working in the underground. There's a crowd of men and women gather round, and the watches they are going, the money is a flow. Think I'll take a little extra, stick it in my pocket, spend you later. I'm just a boy from Sheffield, making his way through life. I'm just a boy from Sheffield, making his way. I'm just a boy from Sheffield, making his way through life. I'm just a boy from Sheffield, making his way. I haven't sold a watch for an hour and I'm dying for a slash. I've had enough of this, so I'm off for a piss. Then a quick walk back round to the cafe, sitting at his table drinking tea. Looks at me suspiciously, then with a glance at the watch he says, how did you do? He paid me a couple of quid, then he said, would you like to come and work another day? I said I'd come back down on Friday, and to that he said okay. So with £2 in my pocket and another 5 in my shoe, I nipped down to Castle Market, where a man who looks like Leo Sayer is selling pots with cockles and prawns. You make me feel like dancing. Then off back to dinner on the Wiggers and then home. I'm just a boy from Sheffield, making his way. I'm just a boy from Sheffield, making his way. I'm just a boy from Sheffield, making his way. I'm just a boy from Sheffield, making his way. I'm just a boy from Sheffield, making his way. I'm just a boy from Sheffield, making his way. I'm just a boy from Sheffield, making his way. I'm just a boy from Sheffield, making his way. it.